This is the best type of video to be making, eh? Because when it comes to Moritz Seider and the Detroit Red Wings, this is a team that has had so much to cheer for, and I could not be happier. The past few years for Detroit, I've been kind of saying the same thing throughout the seasons, and especially at the beginning of the year, because I know that we do have a lot of Red Wings fans that tune into this channel, so I'm very appreciative of you, but I always kind of say the same thing, and I have been for the past few years. Okay, the Wings are a bad team. We all know they're a bad team. And so heading into the 2019 season or heading into the 2020 season or the 2021 season, all we got to do as fans of this team is look at the little victories. Small things that make you say, all right, that was good. Nice to see X player go out there and score a goal. Nice to see Y player go out there and make a few good plays in a row. Nice to see this guy getting points. Nice to see that guy getting his 5th on the year or whatever. Just like little victories, you know? Small things that total a bigger picture of success and extended progress for the Red Wings. That was kind of the tale that I had for this team for a few years, but this team right now, 2021-2022, oh boy. Take a look at the NHL standings and see where the Red Wings are. Sure, they're not a playoff team right now. They're currently 5th in the Atlantic with 54 points. They're 14 behind the Bruins, so they're likely not going to make the playoffs, unfortunately speaking. But there still are so many bigger victories that we can look at that it's making this entire season a lot more enjoyable, even though they're probably not going to be in the playoffs, and they're not bad enough anymore to be a top-of-the-line lottery contender team. One of the guys that has made this so is Moritz Seider, and man, it's tough to go out there and try to find new things to say about this guy. I feel like everything that you can say about him, and the defensive responsibility, the two-way shutdown ability, the offensive creativity, the points, and all that stuff, I feel like we've said all of that already in pretty much every other video we have made about Seider, but with new days come new games, and with new games come more points, and with more points come more records, which is why we're making this video out here today, because Moritz Seider, if you go over to his entire 2021-2022 season, his rookie season with Detroit, he's gone out there with 40 points in 54 games played. Now, he's up to 35 assists, which is fantastic. If you want to go over to some of the records right here, in his last 7 games, Moritz Seider has, if you do the math right here, 1 goal and 10 assists for 11 total points. This is spanning back to that first Philadelphia Flyers game in early February. You take a look at his total point log right here. He's got 8 points in his last 5, 13 points in his last 10, and if you go over to the NHL's public relations Twitter page, they have themselves a stat that talks about how Moritz Seider has literally made a franchise record. Detroit Red Wings defenseman Moritz Seider, who has 1 goal, 10 assists for 11 total points, has extended his point streak to 7 games. There are only 3 blue liners this season who are active to have longer runs. Chris Letang, who had 10, Cale Makar, who had 8, and Seth Jones, who also had 8. So Moritz Seider has gone out there and broken Reed Larson's record in the 70s for the longest point streak by a rookie defenseman in Red Wings franchise history with 7 games played. Not even Lidstrom had a streak that was this long, and Lidstrom was pretty gosh darn good if I do say so myself. And just looking at the caliber of competition that is in this same conversation here, Chris Letang, Cale Makar, Seth Jones are the only 3 defensemen who have had a longer point streak as a rookie than Seider has had so far. Now, I'm not going to go out there and make it seem like a point streak is like the be-all and end-all. Okay, he's going to be as good as Cale Makar because he has this point streak. That's not what I'm going to say here. Point streaks, of course, they're somewhat lucky in a way. Not everybody is going to get a point streak that extends to the moon and back, but it is just kind of a funny measure to look at how consistent some guys can be. Seth Jones being on this list was actually kind of surprising to me, but then you got to go out there and remember, okay, yeah, Seth Jones used to be really good on Nashville before he became an overpaid behemoth like he is now in Chicago, but Either way, Moritz Seider, with his overall point production, is still one of the top guys in the entire National Hockey League, and he's only 20 years old. Take a look at this. Go over to total points in the NHL. Moritz Seider is tied with Tony DeAngelo for 11th in the league. He's just outside the top 10. And you take a look at some of the guys that he's beating out. Okay, Brent Burns, Shea Theodore, Dahlin, McAvoy, Jones, Werenski, Gostisbehere, Doughty, Heiskanen, Pietrangelo, Shabbat. You want to go out there and say to any Red Wings fan back in September of 2021, okay, Moritz Seider's going to make his debut. He's no longer going to be in Grand Rapids. He's coming over from Regula in the SHL. You might go out there and think that because he didn't produce too many points with Regula, that he might not produce too many points in the NHL either. Sure, he won all the awards for being such a fantastic defenseman in the SHL, but he didn't really have too many points now, didn't he? Well, what if you told that person back in September 2021, this brand new dude from the SHL is going to have more points than all of these guys. He's going to be tied with Tony DeAngelo, and he's going to be 1 point behind Quinn Hughes. He's going to be in the ballpark of John Carlson and Devon Toews. Okay, Devon Toews is kind of a surprise. I'll take that one back. But is it not just super surprising seeing how Moritz Seider has gone out there and done what he has done? Like, okay, you watch the games, you see what he is able to do, you see the deployment, you see the trust, you see that he is already the best defenseman on the Red Wings, and he's doing all of this playing beside Danny DeKeyser of all people. You watch the games and you see how he plays and you're like, yeah, okay, I could totally understand why he has so many points. The thing is, did anybody really expect him to be this good before the season began? Like, I know, I saw a few Regula tapes here and there, just watching Seider play and do his thing, hit guys, and do some pretty good reversal hits too, but like, to see everything translate to the National Hockey League level so quickly, and so fluidly too, it's an absolute treat. You see the overtime periods, you see them go out with Larkin, Seider, and Raymond, and you start saying, oh boy, that looks pretty good now, doesn't it? And then they get a power play, and Tyler Bertuzzi comes out there too. It's just so great to see, and because of all this stuff, all the opportunities that Seider has been getting, plus the fact that he's actually succeeding in those opportunities, he's 4th in the NHL's rookie points race, behind Bunting, Zegras, and Raymond. He's only 3 points behind Raymond and 1 point behind Zegras and Bunting, and he is a defenseman. I think, because of the way the Calder has gone out, that Seider is going to be the Calder winner this year, and I feel so vindicated in saying that, dude. You gotta remember, man, I've been on this train for a while. Even from the moment that Steve Yzerman made the pick, I recorded my reaction, I published it onto YouTube, and I said at the time, Red Wings fans, you wanted Zegras, you wanted a forward, you wanted a flashy, skilled guy that can dazzle the pants off of you. Okay, you might have wanted that, but you're not getting that. You're getting Seider instead. A really big, really solid, really underrated defenseman. The pick was seen by a lot of people as a bad one back when it was made, but here we are, 3 years later, and Moritz Seider is right there with Zegras, with Raymond, with Bunting in points, and he's overtaken everybody aside from those guys. So, there you go, eh? The point streak, everything coming together here. Talk to me in the comments all your thoughts about Moritz Seider being the guy that he is being, and producing all these points, despite the fact that he hasn't really had this level of productive success in any time in the past few years in his career. Like, in the slightest. When he was drafted, they told him not to be offensive, which is why he only had 6 points. And then in the AHL, his first season as an 18-year-old, I mean, he was half a point a game there, which is good. He was also half a point a game in the SHL last year, but like, this season, he's on pace for 61 points. 61 points, dude. When was the last time a Red Wings defenseman had 61 points? Was it Lidstrom? I unfortunately do not know at the top of my head, so you can go out there and tell me in the comments what that entire stat was. But either way, let me know in the comments as well, just your overall thoughts of everything, how you think Seider has been, where do you think he's going to go from here, the fact that he's this good at this young, he's only 20, what's he going to be like at 21, 22, 23? There's a lot to converse about when it comes to the future of this big German defenseman. I hope you enjoyed this video, Rosén, and bye.